Hi everybody. I'm going to give you some quick and easy tips to actually go back and help you with your planning stages because I gave that advice to a lot of people. So I'm going to present this document at some point to you, but here's something you can really that's simple and practical and straightforward that you could try to jumpstart your planning if you're really stuck. So you first have to start with a character with a personality trait or a personality type. Perfectionist, jerk, doormat, cold, unfeeling. All right, I'm going to choose jerk. And then got one? Yes, I do. Now put them in a scene with someone who is their opposite. So for example, if you chose perfectionist, having to work with someone who is reckless, which I misspelled, would be a beginning place. Someone who's amused by their behavior, enraged, confused, a victim. It really doesn't matter what you choose. I'm gonna go with jerk and put them in a scene with someone who's the opposite of a jerk. So someone who's, for example, caring and patient and understanding, maybe optimistic, not pessimistic. So you first have to think of some unique settings, which I already preloaded, which might be unfair, but then you could begin thinking about the possibilities, okay? So who's at a flower shop? Well, you got customers, you've got employees. Okay, so let's say the employee is someone who's the overly kind and patient person, and someone in a flower shop is being a jerk, which is odd, right? Because when you think of flower shops, you think of people doing some kind of act of kindness, a nice gesture for someone else, getting them flowers. So that right away creates an interesting scenario. Why is this jerk going to buy flowers for someone? And maybe they have to have this kind of revelation that they're not doing the right thing by getting someone flowers if their heart's not in it. Maybe that's sort of where the scene has to go in order to get them to realize that they're kind of being a jerk. I don't know, what else could we do? A record store is interesting. I love record stores. I'm familiar with them. That's why I put it down. If you're not familiar with record stores, don't choose record store. But typically you've got a record store employee or clerk who's kind of a snob. I'm going to switch the script on that. Let's say that he's going to be the kind person or the patient person, and maybe a customer is this jerk who is looking for an album, and the record store clearly doesn't have it, but maybe they're kind of going out of business and they still want to make a sale, and the kindness and patience just keeps on grinding on this jerk who just wants this record and feels like he's not being helped. That can go in any number of directions. You don't have to think of this in terms of employee customer. You could think of this in terms of just citizen and citizen, right? We can go to a park and maybe a person feels like someone is sitting too close to him or her, and that starts a kind of weird conversation about like park etiquette and which blankets should touch other blankets. Now I'm starting to sound like a perfectionist, but maybe that's what I do then. Maybe I change that to, that scene would be good for a perfectionist. So this is a fluid thing, right? Things can change. You can begin to maybe, I don't want this to be someone who's the opposite of that person. I want it to be someone who's amused by it, right? Maybe this person is having this incredible outburst, who's enraged, and instead of getting the reaction of like someone helping or being enraged along with him or her, they're amused by it, and it just inflames the person even more. There are so many different things that you can do by just a few simple combinations, and that's really the key, is that you want to keep it simple. We want to remove the car chases. We want to remove really law enforcement, like any situation where you have someone firing a gun in a short scene like this. I'm skeptical of it. Try to keep it light, and you're going to find those heavier moments. Okay, this has gone on long enough.